Hey guys, what is going on? Fluffy Ninja from Warp Crew Paintball and Warp Sports Chicagoland, and I'm here with the weekend loadout. So, we just finished the event out at Paintball Barn. I'll talk about that a little bit. But this weekend we're going out to Action Park Paintball in Mishawaka, Indiana. It is a hell of a drive. I know that for sure. But the first time Okay, that's right. Sorry, unfocused for a little bit. The first time we were there, we had an absolute blast. It was amazing. We got welcome like we'd been coming there for years. Our guy Dave, he lives like right near it, so he's been playing there forever. He's become really good friends with the guy Matt Sellis, who is the owner of the field. You might know Matt from like pro teams back in the day. I believe it was Farside, and then a couple other ones. I didn't realize this, but when I re-downloaded um, the Greg Hastings Paintball 2, he's in the game. I don't think he's on Farside. He's on something else, but that was super cool. And I was like, oh, hey, I know that guy. So yeah, we're headed out there. It is there. I think it's the like Lord of the Rings game. I think it's just a one day. It's supposed to be on Sunday. They're doing like a whole like weekend appreciation for customers for Black Friday and Saturday, Sunday for the big game. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, we'll head out there. It's supposed to be like super cheap. I think pre-reg was like $50, and they got you a case of paint and entry. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, so we're gonna be headed out there probably Sunday morning just to go play. Hopefully goes well. Like I said, the first time we went, we had a really good time. We showed up for like I think it was like a Friday night like speedball kind of thing. Like, hey, come out and play. There's usually like a couple teams there. I think it was like us and then like the like couple home people that work there and stuff like that. We had a pretty good time. We played at their indoor like speedball field. It was more like a tire field, but it was very I mean it was basically a hyperball field. I would love to see like him start running mech tournaments out there because I think you would get a pretty good turnout just because I mean there's nobody really doing like 3-man mech tournaments. So I think he would do really well out there. But yeah, I know he's doing like a winter league, so I'll probably do a video on that because I think we have a few guys that want to play in it, but some of them just they don't know yet, money wise, family wise, stuff like that. What's going to be going on? So if they do, awesome. Hopefully, I can get out there and either do some video or even play on the field with them. But this weekend for their big game, I decided to break out one of the dragons. So Return of the Dragon. This is the first time we went. I actually did play with one of these just to like, oh, you know what? I need to get it some field time, make sure that it works, make sure that it shoots paintballs, and so I was like, you know what? We're going out for a big game. Sure, I'll bring a dragon with. Why not? Just because I've got my Spire 3 on here with my rain lid. It's not supposed to rain. It's supposed to be super nice. But in scenario games, I actually am starting to like having the lid on there. But again, I've got my speed feed with me just in case, shit goes sideways and I gotta start loading paint like a madman. I've got my First Strike 77 tank on here with my Immortal Air Reg. Again, no problems with it. Last weekend, it was absolutely phenomenal. And then, of course, my Freak XL barrel on here. I did not get a chance to shoot the Axlex last weekend because it was so cold that all the O-rings shrank and it started leaking right away. And the only way really to fix it is to warm it up. And I was like, well, I'm not going to leave it in the car just to warm up a paintball gun. Like, that's just stupid. Like, I'm not going to turn my car on just to leave the heat on a fucking axe. So, I aired it up like a little bit ago and it was totally fine. So, and I aired it up like, I think it was like the night before. And again, totally fine. So I think it was just like, it's too cold and it just started leaking. But, that happens. Not a big deal. But yeah, so that is this weekend's loadout, is the Return of the Dragon LV1. I absolutely love these guns. That's why they're up on the wall most of the time. Because I love just showing them off. So the game at Paintball Barn was awesome. Krista was able to pull out a victory. That was really cool. Got to play with and against the owners of the field. Usually I am against playing with the owners or playing against the owners, because I had a situation where I shot one of them as they dove into the bunker. I saw it explode on his pack, and I'm screaming at the ref to check him, and the ref just kind of stood there. And, me being, a paintball player and, getting heated and stuff like that, being like, really, you're not going to check your boss because you're afraid of your paycheck or something like that? Like, just being a shithead. But, yeah, we were, again, like, they are very cool guys. He came up after me, he goes, yeah, actually, he did hit me. And he goes, and I walked out, like, a couple seconds later. And I was like, oh, thanks for letting me know. Just, I didn't want to yell at you or the ref or anybody like that because, I thought I hit him, and later he was like, oh yeah, there was paint on my pack, but shit happens. It's not a big deal. It was really cool playing with them, playing against them was really cool. There was a point. So this was the first event in my entire career of 16 years. 15 years? 16 years. How old am I? 16 years. Yeah, 16 years. In my entire career that I've had a ceasefire called because of me. And what happened is we started the game. I didn't stretch. I did a little bit, but not as much as I should have. And as soon as the game started, I had a leg cramp, and I was like, I'll just play through it. It's not the first time, won't be the last. And played through it pretty much all day, not a problem. And then we got spawn trapped in the second to last segment, I think, that we were playing. I was able to dead walk like 5 or 6 people. I don't know. I was able to dead walk groups of people twice. So I think the first time I got 3, and the second time I got like 5 or 6. I don't remember. I know that the final number ended up being around 9 or 8 or 9. So, the number discrepancy isn't gonna bother me any. But I thought it was hilarious. People started freaking out, but it was covered in the rules that, hey, as long as you don't have a barrel stock on. I mean, that's just paintball rules in general. If you see somebody without a barrel stock on, shoot them, ask them to put it on. That got me in trouble at the last Knox game too. But again, like I've been playing paintball long enough that I know that people are sneaky, that people are shitty and stuff like that. So I know because I've done it. I've been taught it by quite a few people that I still play with and that I still see playing. So it's one of those things that, like, if you don't know if they're in or out, send a ball at them. If they start shooting back, keep shooting. If they don't do anything and they raise their gun and they throw it on and they look at you like, bro, like, why did you shoot at me? Then you're fine, But anyway, so dead walked a couple people, came back, tagged up, and that side of the field is still blown open. So I go running and I go to dive, and as soon as I go to dive, the cramp comes back with a fucking vengeance. And as I go to dive, my leg crumpled, my knee hit, I buck end over end, and I go sliding on my face into my bunker. And I go, and, I'm screaming because my fucking leg hurts. And I've got a ref on top of me immediately. So the refs of this field are actually really good. Ref on top of me immediately. I have the enemy commander who ended up being Dakota. Yeah, Dakota from NFG. I think is his name. Sorry. But yeah, he ended up running over because he was like, oh god, Fluffy got hurt. And usually if I hit the ground, it's going to take 2 or 3 people to help get me up. So, ceasefire got called, and I went, no, it's fine, just leave me here. I'll be okay. As long as I didn't get hit. And I'm like, did I make it clean? The ref's like, no, you got hit in the pack. And I'm like, well, never mind then, get me out of here. So, it was, I tried to make light of the situation, but yeah, that definitely sucked. Having my first ceasefire ever called on me, because of a leg cramp that I didn't stretch out, I didn't drink enough water, the night before getting ready for the event. So it's on me, but it was super cool event, super professional with the refs, the owners, everything like that. One thing that we didn't expect when we got to the event was they were shooting pink paint. So Krista is allergic to red dye, and if red dye is in paint, pink and or red and white make pink. So they were shooting pink paint. People were like, "Hey, you know what? If you see her on the field and you're shooting that, try not to shoot her in the face. Try not to hit her in the skin. It's paintball. Shit happens, but do your best. Don't be an asshole about it." And after shooting some paint that was not great, that I think they were just trying to get rid of, which I understand, we grabbed some of the better paint, and one of the field owners was up there talking with me. And I went, "Yeah, we didn't know pink was going to be here, else we probably wouldn't have come because Krista's red dye allergy." And he pulled her aside at like the end of the event and was like, "Hey, if you guys come back, let us know ahead of time so that way we can avoid ordering pink, red, orange, etc. Like, just so we make sure that everybody is safe out here." So I thought that was really cool. That was super nice of him, super professional. But yeah, that was really cool. Playing with them, communicating with them was awesome. They showed us a couple things on their field that it's like, wow, I wouldn't have even thought about doing that because I didn't build the field. The last time I was there for a tournament, that tournament field is still there because they just put in the turf field. The grass area is still not great, still not graded, but I'm sure for the teams that go out there, it's perfect for them. But they have a lot of big plans, especially during the off season, of things that they want to accomplish, and then like in the spring before they like officially open, they want to accomplish. So I'm super excited to see it. Grimm's game, the Destiny game, was phenomenal. It's based on like the Mission Masters games, but those are ass. I'll come out and say it, I guess, because nobody else wants to. Everybody else wants to be like, "Oh, Mission Masters, they're great. They're from wherever. They put on some of the best games." No, they really don't. I'm sorry. When I pay, like, I don't even remember how much the Sherwood game was, but it was fucking expensive. And they're like, "Oh yeah, you're on for an hour, off for an hour." It's like, no. I paid X amount of dollars to play paintball all day. That doesn't mean that you get to, dictate to me how the game's going to go. If you're putting on a scenario event, you have to make sure that it's on correctly. So the way that Grimm did it is 45 minutes on, 15 minutes off. Enough time to get paint, air, food if you want it, go to the bathroom, etc., whatever. And it was awesome. Granted, I think there was only about 80 people there, 80 to 100. I'll throw a little bit on the high end, but it was super fun, like with that amount of people. And honestly, their field can't handle many more, mostly because there was a lot of open spaces. There's a lot of, I don't know, it's not as big and deep as I thought it would be, because I never explored like the actual scenario part of it. But it for what we had, it was really, really good. I could see maybe another 30 to 50 people out there, and then it starts to get cramped. But then your firefights get a lot more interesting, so that'd be kind of cool. And then you introduce spawn delays and stuff like that, like spawn windows. So I can definitely see, that if he does the game again next year, I will definitely go back, and I will definitely have our whole team out there. I know, again, it comes down to money for a lot of people. It comes down to, stuff like that. But, when it's planned months in advance, don't be a little bitch and not go just because reasons. So, yeah, that game was super cool. Field was super cool. Owners were super cool. Everything about it was great. It really was. Everything about it was awesome. So I'm excited to go back. I'm excited to see what they do in the coming years. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, the game this weekend, haven't played their scenario field, haven't played just on their field in general. I know Matt Sellis has wanted me to come out there for a while just so I can see what we could do for a big game, for a scenario thing, and I'm excited to help him. Absolutely. Same thing with Paintball Barn. I had one of their sponsored players was like, "Oh, hey, yeah, you go to all these different fields. What do you think of this one now that you've actually played it?" And I'm like, "There's a few things that I would fix." Again, there, it's like the third or fourth time I think that it's changed owners, but I think the ones that they have now are really set on doing the best job that they can. So the one thing that I told to him was like, hey, the air system has to improve. If you want more people out here, you have to have the air system that's going to tolerate it. If you look at Sherwood, they have the air system. They just don't fucking use it. I don't know why. They use the tournament trailer, but they only use it to I think half the capacity that it can be used. At least that's what it seems to me, because halfway through the day, again, we're getting 35 to 4,000 psi, which is usually good, but if you're filling a 4,500 psi air tank, and with how gigantic Sherwood is and how far you have to walk for your fucking spawn point, you want a full tank of air, probably 2 or 3, so that way you don't have to make a hike all the way back. Probably the only field that has the best air system that I've ever seen is Fort Knox. It's one of the few things that I will credit them for. Is their air system. They have 3 compressors, one gigantic one and 2 smaller ones, and they run the smaller one for the smaller ones for most of the days. It's like, hey, you know what? It's weekend, doesn't really matter, whatever. And then for big games, they'll kick on the big one if they really, really have to. But with the, how attendance has been, I don't think it's going to be a problem anytime soon. So yeah, that was one of the notes that I had for him, was upgrade your air system. I wouldn't say get more refs, but I would say make sure your refs understand scenario paintball a little bit better. Just because, again, not complaining about any issues that I had, but I noticed a lot of times, and I noticed this down at Indie Battlegrounds, the refs just clumped up for no reason, and we're screaming for refs, and one can't be found. I know the enemy commander was trying to get a ref's attention so that way he could do a mission of blowing up buildings, and he couldn't find a ref. So it's one of those things where it's like, hey, you have to have your refs aware of what's going on. They have to be aware of the missions that are supposed to be happening in the time slot that we're playing, and they kind of have to be ready to jump on top of stuff that it's like, oh shit, they're going right now, let's go. So I noticed a lot that 1 or 2 of them would kind of clump up, and then a third one would kind of wander nearer. You wouldn't be right on top of them, but but again, that happens at a lot of fields. It's not just Paintball Barn. That's not just Indie Battlegrounds. It's not just whatever. The other thing I suggested was building more, because they have the space to do it. Maybe clear out some trees and then just build more structures. I thought that would be amazing. Paint could be a little bit better, because again, when you show up, granted, I think we paid $45 a case, I want to say, for 2-star. The 2-star that they had, though, was regular 2-star, whereas the 2-star that we ended up getting later, that Krista started out with, and we were like, what is this magical paintballs that shoot straight? It was a little bit, I don't know if it was winter blend exactly, but it was a little bit thicker shell. It wasn't dimpled, it wasn't flat spotted. It had some weird yellow bumps in it, but it broke yellow, so that might have just been individual paintballs, because it was individual paintballs. That stuff shot amazing, and it was breaking on the tiniest of things that you hit. If you were hitting a person, even if they're wearing 30 fucking shirts, like it would still break. So that was pretty cool. So their paint was phenomenal when you got the right kind. I did notice in the video that they posted that there was a guy shooting Marbleizer, and in the video he's at the W and he goes to shoot and just goes brr, and it's just a giant green wad of shit that comes out of the end of his barrel, and it's fucking hilarious. But I mean, again, that's what you get for shooting Marbleizer in like 30-degree weather. You know, it's that's what happens. You know, I'm kind of surprised his gun wasn't fucking up more, but I did think that was funny. I didn't watch the rest of the video, but you know, I'm sure if you did watch the video, you noticed something that I was wearing, something that one of my players was wearing, and again, details on that are coming soon. I am waiting for paperwork to go through. I'm waiting for prototypers to get back to me, stuff like that. So go check out the video on Apollo's page if you haven't. I think it's phenomenal. He always does a great job, no matter what, even though he leaves his $10,000 camera gear out in the fucking rain. But yeah, so kind of a ramble video, kind of a recap, kind of a hey, look forward to this. I know videos have been pretty hit or miss, but that's because there's not a lot of shit going on right now. It's cold as fuck, especially here in Illinois. And when we move to Indiana next year, it's not going to be much better. Like, weather is still going to suck. Midwest is just an awful place to live. Don't move here. Stay, like, west. Because west is very nice. At least as far as I'm concerned. But, yeah. It was super cool. It was, I can't wait to go back, honestly. It was a fun weekend of paintball, and I haven't had a lot of those this year. The Purge game was just a fun weekend of paintball, even though like a lot of people were having paint issues. But again, we're shooting 5-star in 30-degree weather, and it was still shooting straight for the most part, unless you broke in your barrel, which I did a few times. But then you just shoot through it and it shoots straight. This weekend was definitely one of the weekends that I had fun. Same thing with this coming weekend at Action Park Paintball. It's one of those weekends just to have fun.